Hello, and welcome to Conqueror Ace games. Today, I'd like to show you another Conqueror game, this time a fun game I had platooned with my clanmate Pendrix in his T-54. Now right off the bat, we land in Ruinberg's south spawn and decide to turn left and head straight out into the town. Now why is that? Let's take a look at the map and find out. Ruinberg's known as a mixed terrain map. That is to say, it has both open terrain and close city terrain. In this case, the city is on the west and the field is on the east. Less obvious is this map's asymmetry north to south. That is to say, if you spawn in the north, it's easier to get into the field, and if you spawn in the south, it's easier to go town. Furthermore, well-camouflaged overwatch positions on the A row, coupled with active scouting up and down the road on the E row, means that pushing the field from the south is tantamount to suicide. This lack of offensive opportunities from the south field means that tanks tend to deploy along two lines quite defensively, along the 6th line or along the K row, giving them very few opportunities and allowing the opposition to achieve positions of dominance all along the E row and down the 0 line. The south city, on the other hand, offers a wide range of positions, allowing tanks to deploy broadly and achieve angle dominance on the opposition. As a result, much like the limited opportunities in South Field, North City tends to have a cramped, passive deployment that is often overwhelmed in the mid-game. Because of these early game tendencies, Ruinberg often plays clockwise. The North crushes Field, while the South grinds the city down, and in the winners of each of these battles proceeds to the other team's cap. For this reason, it's important both to win your flank quickly, while at the same time having enough combat power to win the second, more decisive engagement. Alright, enough theory. Let's get back to our game. Pendrix and I are aware of the tendencies of this map, and we decide to go into town, despite being in a medium tank and a range-oriented heavy tank, because we feel that we can make a more decisive impact by winning our flank and then defending against the enemy. I occupy this hull-down position here, and even though there's cover in the way, I decide to clear it out. I still bounce over the Lorraine 40, but I got other tanks behind me, and as long as he's going to give me shots, I'm going to take shots back from him. He's probably not going to get any real good opportunities against me. The Conqueror has a decent turret, even if its hull is soft. And he pays for his hubris and dies without causing any damage at all. I decide to pause a little bit. Let's wait to see if there's anybody behind him. Usually an aggressive medium tank implies an aggressive push from that flank, but once I see there's nobody else coming, I decide to make something happen myself. My goal here is to go to the 2 line, roughly where that T-20 is now, and try to push down that road, or at least start a firefight and get the bulk of my tanks engaged behind me, hopefully achieving a local overmatch situation. Then I see this T-20s driving up the road without any opposition at all, and I decide to follow him in. Even if there's tanks at D34, I can do pretty good with my hit point pool. I am top tier after all. I discover this Tiger 1, getting a long range firefight with him. It's a bit of a problem. We can pen each other and he's got quite a lot of damage, so I gotta make sure that I take him out quickly without taking too much damage myself. Remember, my goal here is not just to win the flank, but to win the flank and still be in a shape to win the game once the field side starts to push in on us. Pendrix and I both know that we're under quite a bit of pressure now. And the cap alarm reminds us that we have very little time to finish off these 2 tanks. Fortunately, they don't even seem to know we're there. This Tiger 2 gets to down 1 shot. I get a nice shot on his flank, and then ram the T-28. Maybe not the best plan, but my objective here is to make sure he doesn't have a really good shot at anybody. I don't want him to kill anybody else on my team, and at the same time I want to make sure that he's in a position to get shot at by our friendlies to our front. Okay, so with 3 tanks down on this flank, we own the city, but our cap is being swarmed, and we're down some tanks. Now at this point I could just run southeast and get in a big brawl with the remaining tanks, but A, we're down tanks, and B, I really think I can do a little more damage attacking at range. I am vulnerable to flanking fire from this position, but I can get shots at targets in the open and keep our cap from being completely overwhelmed. This Indian Panzer gets really lucky. At this point, I decide to close the distance a little bit, and I do in fact take a shot in the flank from a T-54. I need to ignore him though, as I have targets to the front that need to get cleared out. Instead, I trade space for time and make sure that there's terrain between me and the T-54, and keep targets to the front, focusing my fire on the most dangerous available target, which is the ISU. ISU also gets lucky. I put 2 shots right into his gun mantlet, which of course is where I was aiming, so I shouldn't be too surprised. Looking at the mini-map, I can see there's a tank behind me. He's been there for a while, but fortunately he's been focused on other targets. So I get turned around, exposing my back to tanks, to tanking fire. I'm right in the middle between 2 tanks right now, but I give the T-54 my track, and he takes it, which is nice. He's got quite a higher rate of fire than I do, but I miss a shot as well. Also fighting in this shell hole, which isn't that smart an idea. Try to avoid this kind of rolling terrain because you don't want your target solution to get broken up at the last minute. I said I'd push around the church, even though I know I'm going to take fire down the road, and I do from the Centurion, but I want Pendrix and I to be able to take out this T-54 as soon as possible. At this point, despite our efforts, we're still down 2 tanks. I get a shot back at the Centurion. But he's been doing really good work on me. He got me down to 3-digit hit points. I spot the FCM-50 just in time. Then juke his shot. He bounces one off the wreck to my left. I come around, and this position allows me to attack both the Centurion or the FCM-50. He's focused on Pendrix, so I focus on him and try to take him out as quickly as possible. I noticed quite some time ago that I was down. I was out of AP, so this game starts getting a little expensive for me, and I've changed my basic loadout in the meantime to carry more AP and a little less APCR. Okay, so now the game looks a little closer in hand, but I get jumped again from behind. This Black Prince charges me. Black Prince, he's pretty vulnerable to my fire, but he's got quite a high rate of fire, so I gotta make sure these shots count. And even so, I take a couple of shots into my hull before I'm able to kill him. Now I'm definitely down into 1-shot range to a lot of the remaining tanks, both of the remaining tanks on the battlefield. We know where they are though. Pendrix still has some hit points, and so we move in for the kill. Poor little AMX M4 dies quickly. I poke around the corner, looking at the AMX 5120, and I'm waiting for his turret to break, and as soon as he turns around, I come in and I paste him. My good buddy Pendrix won't give me the top gun though, because he wants 5 kills as well. I'm finding the Conqueror to be a good general purpose tank. I tend not to enjoy the tier 9 heavies as much as tier 9 mediums, since I think that heavy tanks in general give up more to higher tiers than mediums do. Nevertheless, the Conqueror has a nice set of soft stats that provide a solid platform for the great tier 10 gun that it carries. Plus it looks really cool, and let's be honest, isn't that the most important feature a tank can have? Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it, tell your friends, and subscribe to my channel, Tolerating Kill Panic. Until next time, may all your crits be ammo racks.